Hello, friends, and welcome to Pod Return to the Waking Sands. We are a Final Fantasy XIV companion podcast where we explore the lore and story of Hydaelyn and beyond. My name is Jen, and I'm joined by my co-host and researcher.
I'm Levi.
What's up, Levi?
What's up, Jen? How's it going?
It's going good.
Got some quesadilla in you, Jen?
So much quesadilla.
But less than before.
Oh, right. Yes. Nobody will get that.
They changed the portion size.
Correct. So a little background information on our dinner, y'all. We go next door to a place that has really, it's a bar, but they have amazing fucking food and huge portions, but sometimes they're a little too big, you know? So I went and I ordered a quesadilla, and normally it's a whole ass quesadilla, and I have to take leftovers home every single time because it's just so much. And the bartender was like, we're revamping our menu a little bit. The portions are going to be more reasonably sized. Prices are a little bit lower, blah, blah, blah. So that's the story. I had a quesadilla that was totally satisfying, but less than before.
Okay, we're caught up.
You made me.
I didn't make you do shit, Jen.
You referenced something that nobody could possibly understand. So now I had to give background information.
But Jen understood it.
You know what? This is bigger than myself.
You're a person too, Jen.
Oh my God.
Well, anyway, that aside, today we are talking about the goldsmith job through level 50.
Oh yeah.
This is our final disciple of the hand until we hit Heaven's Ward.
Oh my God.
This also means I can finally start desynthing all of the crafting gear I've been carting around for over a year. It is very satisfying.
All the crafting gear? Like what?
I have 50 levels of crafting gear in every slot.
No. I'm just like, but why would you have all of it? Were you not like purging it when you didn't need it anymore?
I do need it still because we haven't done all the Disciples of the Hand until now.
Oh, because you're doing it. Okay, I've been doing New Game Plus, so I have not had to keep every goddamn
one of us
tier
has
of
to
gear.
do the true experience.
That makes sense.
One has to suffer for this episode.
And you have.
I have. I started at level 1 and I ended at level 53 today.
Are you fucking kidding me? You started at level 1.
Not today. I started a week ago at level 1.
Oh my God.
And ended at 53 today.
Yeah, that would do it. Okay.
But now every time I level up, I can hit, equip best and desynth everything that I've replaced.
Way to go.
Yeah, it feels so good. My armory chest is so clean right now. It's amazing.
Never will I know a clean armory chest.
That seems like a personal problem.
I hate it. I'm always like 5 slots away from complete annihilation. I have to go in after like a couple of dungeon runs and purge and desynth and glam chest and all this stuff. Like I'm always just 90% full. I'm like, why? Clean
armory chest, clean mind, Jen.
Correct. So this explains things.
Anyway, so also before we get going, I guess as a note as well, this is the sexual harassment mammet storyline.
Essay. Yeah. Essay is trigger warning.
Yeah. They should have known better.
Absolutely unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. Yeah.
So we're not going to harp on it. Just it's here. It sucks. We'll note those parts, but also not going to keep belaboring the point.
Word.
So that has been said. It's a feature in this questline. And honestly, I'm actually surprised I don't hear more first-time goldsmiths in the wild going like, what the fuck?
Maybe people are they're just hand-waving it because reasons.
Or maybe they're mashing the advanced dialogue button or something. I don't know. But this is quite a thing.
No, if people are getting up in arms about Copperbell mines, etc., then absolutely they would be getting up in arms about this. Because this is egregious.
Have you seen people
in the wild?
In the wild being like,
on Reddit.
What the fuck?
Yep, totally.
Okay.
They're like, does anybody realize that war crimes are happening? Like, yes.
Okay.
So, I mean, like, people absolutely notice. Do they take the time to go online and have a conversation about it? Maybe, maybe not. It just depends. I'm not on Twitter, so I don't know. If it's not on Reddit, then I haven't seen it. And I'm not even on Reddit that much, so.
Cool.
Anyway.
So, Jen, goldsmiths, they craft primarily accessories, as in the right side equipment on your gear stuff.
Sometimes
gear
left
window.
side if you're a thaumaturge.
Yes, that was part 2 of my overview. Thank you, Jen, for
Hey.
stealing my thunder.
Fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Fucking goldsmithed it. So, in A Realm Reborn, though, they own pretty much the whole right side. There are a couple accessories, mainly for crafting and gathering, that are not goldsmith, but pretty much they make everything right side in A Realm Reborn. In future expansions, though, the right side is more equally shared amongst other crafters besides just goldsmith.
Yeah, leatherworker, carpenter.
Yep.
Yeah.
They also, thank you, Jen, do craft thaumaturge weapons, namely wands and staves. So they kind of double as bone crafters, which is a separate vocation in Final Fantasy XI.
I want to be a bone crafter.
It's pretty metal, for sure.
That's it.
I don't think there's enough bone to craft as a dedicated job, except for,
kidding?
the oldest profession.
Jesus Christ. Yo, I got a bone to craft with you.
Yeah.
That's inappropriate. Okay.
Goldsmithing, of course, happens in Ul'dah, which is a natural fit for it, with Thanaland's rich mineral wealth and its relatively high population of wealthy patrons. However, the guild was not just content to make use of their local resources. They wanted to be masters of the craft too. And the goldsmiths of the East rivaled the Uldans in skill, so they built facilities to draw the interest of these foreign goldsmiths so that the Uldans and Easterners could combine their crafts.
Boom.
The guildmaster, Serendipity, is one of the youngest guildmasters in Ul'dan history, at just 19 years old.
She's 19?
She is 19. When she was 13, she hounded the former guildmaster, help me out here, Jen, Cold Bernou. Okay. Cold Bernou.
Final answer.
So she hounded him endlessly until he took her on as an apprentice. And it took her 6 years to rise from apprentice to master.
That's not a long time.
It's not. And I think, honestly, this is one of the cases where someone who's very good at one thing gets promoted to be manager and is not good at being a manager.
Correct. Because she's 19.
Yes, she is 19.
Oh my god, even if she were guildmaster at 30, that would be too young. Fucking Christ.
No, it really does show during the quest line that she is not cut out for this job.
She's like, I love her, honestly. And I think as far as feedback goes, she's one of the most tempered as far as like fluffing us as being like a special little boy. Her feedback is actually very like measured and considered and less glowing and dick sucking.
Yep.
So I appreciated that. Fucking 19. To be in your 40s to play this game can be hard sometimes. Anyway.
40s or no, Jen. She's still, she just doesn't have the conflict resolution and leadership skills, the interpersonal skills needed.
She also doesn't feel like an authority in any way, shape, or form.
No.
She's constantly questioning her decisions, what she says.
Yep. So, I don't know what it was that got her to be guildmaster, unless it really was one of those, you're the best goldsmith here, therefore you should be in charge type situations.
I mean, you need more than just skills.
Yes.
You need to be able to make more than an amazing set of earrings to be guildmaster. It's upsetting, and we don't. Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it.
True.
She's a lovely person.
Also true.
But maybe give her another decade.
So that is the background. Let's head for the Goldsmiths Guild to join up.
Here we go.
And the receptionist gives us no hazing whatsoever. They go, anyone's welcome, no experience required. Do you want to join up? No, are you good enough? It's going to be tough. Better shape up or ship out. Just welcome. And they give us the rundown on goldsmithing, the history, and so on. We must learn to see the potential in our materials and shape them to our will. They say that a master goldsmith can ascertain the authenticity of a man himself.
And if we want to become a goldsmith, we must refine ourselves as we would a fine gemstone.
For even the most magnificent gem begins as a rough-hewn stone.
Damn, that's deep, man. So she's like, you should introduce yourselves to Mistress Serendipity, and she'll just let you join.
Just let you join.
She'll just let you join. And we approach Serendipity, even though she's looking right at us. She is startled. Like, oh, yeah. And she starts talking to somebody who obviously isn't us. And she's like, oh, God, I'm sorry. You're not a mammet.
She's distracted, Jen, in her thoughts, in her work.
Sure.
Serendipity is a purple-haired, bespectacled woman with a goldsmith's tool belt slung around her waist.
It is a very fancy outfit.
Yeah.
Purple pigtails. Yeah.
Yes. After clearing up that misunderstanding about that little troublemaker that she thought we were, she resets the interaction. She says, welcome, adventurer. Do you wish to become a goldsmith? Jen, have you the aspirations to become a goldsmith?
Yeah.
Okay, that was easy.
All right.
You're in.
She's like, great. You know what? You can call me Sarah. And she's like, is that too informal? I don't know. I'm 19. And wait, what was your name again? Adrian? No, my name is blank. Anyway, just trust in yourself, and you too shall become a master goldsmith, and I hope that was inspiring enough for you. All right, level 1.
So we get our first chaser hammer. And now as guildmaster, she must ensure we have a firm grasp of the fundamentals.
Firmly grasp it!
Which means making copper ingots from copper ore and a wind shard. This input doesn't feel right to me. Wind shards are required for a lot of the goldsmithing recipes, especially the ingots. Yes, sure, air is required, but it just feels like it's so tertiary to the process.
Well, I mean, because it is. You know, other jobs are able to kind of weave that in a way that feels a little bit more organic, but it is just kind of forcing an issue.
I feel like it's just because they need to make sure that the jobs draw upon the elemental shards relatively equally. So they gave Goldsmith the wind crystals.
Yep. There you go.
And I like the ones that tell us why we use the shards. Even though sometimes they're obvious, I still like the bit of flavor when they say, okay, so you're going to use like a water shard to quench it or whatever, you know. But here's some wind shards, here's some copper, go for it.
Yeah, pretty much. Which is funny because when I was crafting some of the stuff for this, I ran out of wind shards. I'm like, oh, I guess I was using wind shards this whole time. Okay. Anywho, so we go back and we're wearing the hammer on our belt, and she's like, damn, you're doing great so far. Look at that hammer sitting there on your hip, just like an expert. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm the warrior of light.
Hey, Jen, how many copper ingots did you make?
Like 18?
I made 99.
Good grief.
To grind them levels.
Well, that makes sense because you started at nothing and I started at 90 because I played New Game Plus. And I'm like, I did the math. I only have to make 18. That's all I'm fucking making because I don't need any more routine or bloat.
We placed the copper ingot upon the filing cabinet of inspection.
How do you know it's called that?
Because it's a filing cabinet on which you inspect the ingot.
Oh, I see. Okay. So we're doing the review, and the resident mammet, Gigi, is present and offering some devastating feedback. Not even fit for making a chamber pot, he says. And Serendipity admonishes him with a reminder that she is the guildmaster. She will determine what can or cannot make a chamber pot. Okay? Okay. She apologizes for him, like he's a little overzealous. You know, she's using very diplomatic language. Gigi is rude as hell. Gigi has been around forever. He has attended to every guildmaster in the Goldsmiths Guild. But lately he's been a little flaky. He kind of comes and goes as he pleases, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. Now he speaks up again in his little mammet voice. I don't even know how to make this sound. I'm just going to say it normally.
I read that. So the way it's
before Gigi. Is it like a robot voice, or is it a?
No, I read it as being kind of tinny, like it's got kind of like a warble to it, like a old timey what you call it?
Oh, like it's like a wax cylinder that is devolved.
Yeah. So it feels like it's meant to be kind of alternating in cadence and in volume, and so on, because the way it's It's only text, obviously, for the crafting quest.
So imagine sound out of an old gramophone.
Yeah, but it has alternating lowercase and uppercase letters and a bunch of weird symbols that punctuate the text.
And this is the way you communicate sarcasm online now, so it's hard to read it not in a sarcastic voice. But yeah, so...
Gigi is over a century old, so he predates the current online discourse.
Oh, of course. And I mean, so does when they built this quest line.
Yes.
It precedes it.
Also that.
But yeah, he says... Kneel before Gigi, the one true guildmaster. Respect my authority, ignorant mortal, or suffer my wrath. And she's like, he's like this every day. That's so fucking exhausting.
So what it becomes really is that Gigi is the missing stair of the guild, where he's tolerated by serendipity, and he apparently has some knowledge, but he seems to only just sass the newcomers.
Right. We don't ever see him impart this knowledge to anybody.
No.
He just shows up, destroys you, and then goes and does whatever he does. He's very cute. And, you know,
Visually cute.
Correct. We just have to trust that Gigi is, or that, like, Serendipity's experience with Gigi is correct, and we just need to tolerate it.
Maybe. This is not portrayed whatsoever, and it really does come down as being like a long-term employee that has too much seniority to fire. He's
been in the guild for over a century. And
yes.
he has advised every single guildmaster. So she's like, basically, he is a walking, talking archive of knowledge. It's everything goldsmiths know in totality. It all lives inside this mammet. But he's chosen to be a dick about it. So this is our lot now. Anyway, so back to the real appraisal. We have made a fine ingot. And we just need to practice. We need to get more comfortable with our hammer and then return. And Gigi was like, bugger off, Greenhorn. Okay. See you later. Level 5.
It is nice to not be an instant prodigy. There's a couple like this, but yeah, no, it's actually like, this is okay, but you can do better.
Yeah, continue practicing. It's pretty good. You show promise. Like, thank you. Okay. Anyway.
We don't have to be a day one all-star.
Well, sometimes that's nice, but anyway. So we go after some practice, I presume, in the case of Shu, yes. Serendipity is stoked that we've come back. Most guild member hopefuls will bail after meeting Gigi for the first time. Fair. Now she asks for 3 copper gorgets.
Gorget.
Okay. I like that. All right. So for the ingots, she recommended getting the ore from the guild supplier, but she's like, there's other methods for getting ore. You can mine it yourself, or you can maybe convince a quote-unquote lonely miner to share some with you. That seems gross. I won't be doing that, so I will just buy it.
This is the required, hey, you can gather stuff as well, reminder.
Right. Gigi's opinion is our gorgets are gorgeous. Oh, wait, no. Excuse me. I mean, what's the word? Grotesque. An affront to the gods themselves. Serendipity disagrees. So while the gorgets are a utilitarian piece of equipment with little room for creativity, the techniques employed are the same, whether the piece is simple or elaborate. And this is when we get our first grinding wheel, and we're told to keep our nose against it.
Yeah, that's the offhand item for Goldsmith.
Correct.
The grinder.
It's a huge piece of equipment.
So I think every job has some sort of some giant table you whip out, at least at higher levels. Yeah,
the spinning wheel for whatever. And then when you get level 50 carpenter, the fucking saw.
Or the culinarian has the whole cooktop.
They just kind of kitchen.
Whip out of their backpack.
Like firewood and shit in there.
Yep.
Probably just a fire shard, to be fair.
So we return, and Serendipity is startled.
Again, she's looking right at us.
She thought that we were that angry miner. Jen, please suspend your disbelief. We can assume she's actually working in the guild, even though she's standing idly.
I have to assume. Or she's just kind of staring off into space or whatever, and we're like, hey, Serendipity. She's like, ah!
But she thought that we were that angry miner, because apparently Gigi was displeased with this one's ore, and made that sentiment clear to the miner.
That's some sylph talk. Oh my god, did you hear yourself
I
do
did.
it?
Well, we are working on sylphs, and spoiler, that's the next episode, so it's in my head, Jen. I got a lot of ones going on.
Yeah. This one did not approve of that one's or. So Gigi was like, your or sucks and your mother sucks. And so the miner was very mad, and Serendipity is feeling the pain.
But enough of that. Here's an order for 12 copper rings. Get to it. So we bulk craft the rings, and we return.
I just did like a quick synth, and of course, like a couple of them were high quality. But when you go to turn them in, it does not let you submit high quality and normal quality mixed together.
Yes.
You have to lower the quality and then combine the piles.
Yes.
So that, yeah.
I understand your pain.
It doesn't make any sense to me, but okay. Anyway, Gigi's assessment, this time, hesitatingly admits he's seen worse. Oh, shit. What? Not an outright insult? Serendipity was like, wow, dude, that's an actual compliment. And we're like, is it though? And she's like, yeah. Yeah. Have you seen what this guy says?
Jen, are you aware that rings are used for many things, such as chains and chainmail?
What? Oh, man.
But because they're so great, you get to deliver them to the customer, a Sultan Sworn named Robert. Or Robert.
Robert. He's waiting just outside. That's great. She told him that he could wait in the guild, but he said that he didn't want to distract the smiths. But she was like, I'd like a little bit of that distraction. Ooh. So we go out, we give him the stuff. Robert's like, thank you so much.
Robert is a young, blonde Sultan Sworn.
He's cute.
V cute.
I can see what a 19-year-old Serendipity would see in him. And he's like, the Sultan Sworn, we need the best supplies and equipment to keep the Sultana safe at all times. So appreciate it. Also, give Serendipity my fondest regards. Anyway, we go back and Serendipity is like, so what did Robert say about me? I mean the rings. She's delighted and suggests that we take on additional commissions outside the guild to make some extra cash. This is the leave quest. Hint, hint. So, yeah, level 15.
So here it is, Jen.
Right away. Gigi has committed SA against Serendipity, grabbed her ass, and then also insulted it. It's bad. I mean,
the joke is that he's trying to treat her like a
gem.
goldsmithing. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
He's doing an assessment on her body as he would a gorget, for example. And she got very defensive. She's like, my body is fine. I don't need you to tell me about it and blah, blah, blah. Giving a 19-year-old a complex, which is fucked up. But anyway, so Robert was back to request some fang earrings and a brass gorget made by us. He asked for us specifically. We make the stuff, and here comes Gigi's assessment. Fangs, brass. This presents a dilemma. I should not like these items, but they feel fresh. Your numerous mistakes, when taken together, give them an endearing quality. He continues. I am reminded of Serendipity. Her meager bosom and untoned buttocks are, and Serendipity cuts him off, and like Jesus fucking Christ. They go back and forth a bit, and she's like, she realizes what it is that she's enabling as far as the conversation goes, and cuts it off, and continues to give us an appraisal on the actual product. They are deemed worthy. Again, she isn't offering glowing, oh my god, these earrings are just, ugh. It's like, your earrings are very well crafted, this is well done, etc., etc. Great. But because we're the ones who crafted them, we should, I guess, be the ones to deliver to Robert. She desperately wants to be the one to deliver these things to her crush. But she's trying to be professional.
Jen, brass isn't the fanciest metal, but can be made to resemble gold when shaped and polished well.
Honestly, let brass be brass. We don't have to use it to pretend that, oh, look, that's kind of goldish. Ooh, fancy. No, let brass be brass. It has its own benefits. It patinas beautifully. It has a lovely warm tone, not like a fake brass coating that you see on some shit, but actual brass is really lovely, and it's sturdy as hell. Anyway, I think we have a machinist in the Discord who could probably back me up on that. But anyway, I like it a lot. I specify it a lot in stuff that I do for work, and I have strong feelings. Anyway, so we go to deliver this stuff to Robert, and he's kind of laying it on a little thick here. He's giving us more of like a dick suck review than Serendipity would. He assumed that Serendipity crafted it, so he's all like, "Oh my god, she's so amazing! Oh, these earrings, like, oh wow." And we're like, "Oh no, we actually made those." Like, "Oh, you did? Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to keep my eye on both of you. Mm-hmm. You and your lovely guildmaster." I'm like, "Okay, this guy's a little cheesy, but that's fine." Level 20.
So we get back, and now Serendipity reports that she had a fresh Bismarck baked apple tart. Not sure how it got here so quickly, if it's fresh.
Well, she said it was a Bismarck-trained chef. Not the Bismarck itself, but a Bismarck-trained chef. Okay. She got, so, like,
well,
who knows?
Either way, it was fresh, and it was here, but when she turned her back, Gigi ate it and told her it would make her fat.
Yep.
Can mammets eat food?
He put it somewhere. She's like, they don't need to eat, and they can't taste anything. He simply did it out of spite. What a little asshole. Yeah, so he says something about preventing her from further deviating from conventional beauty standards. Like, oh my fucking god.
She should not be complaining about her HR issues to the newest guild member of all people. It's like not... Yeah, this is your job to...
It's not professional.
Manage this, not to tell us this.
Correct. It's, the coworker who overshares, who trauma dumps without asking permission. That whole thing.
Jin would know.
Yeah, I would know. So anywho, it's time for an actual lesson today. We're going to learn about materia. It's the materia quest. So she wants us to attach a materia, it doesn't matter what, to a staghorn staff. And if we don't know how to meld, she says to go check out Mutamix in Central Thanalan. She's like, I don't understand anything he says. And also, the staff requires antelope horn, which we won't be able to find in Thanalan. We can either, buy it from the market board, pro tip, or we can find it ourselves in Gridania. Kill some stuff. Gigi wonders, well, after I say we make the staff, we meld the stuff, we present it, and Gigi wonders, like, why don't we just meld materia directly onto ourselves rather than the item? That seems way more efficient. He'd be happy to meld materia directly onto our skulls, for example. And Serendipity's like, no, Gigi, bad. Bah. So the Serendipity appraisal is our staff is well made and the materia is expertly adhered. And we might wonder who would prefer a staff of bone and horn over a staff encrusted with jewels. And she's like, every thaumaturge ever.
As the fangs and horns are well suited to channeling dark arts of thaumaturgy. Not just because it looks cool, but because it's ethereally suited.
Yeah, channels them shits.
Channels them shits.
Mm-hmm.
Jen, that is not workplace appropriate commentary.
Go channel your shits.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell Serendipity on you, Jen.
Channel your shit.
Wait, hungry, channel your shits?
I don't know.
I don't know how that works, Jen.
It was like, it's a Snickers reference. I don't know.
I don't think Snickers says hungry, channel your shits.
Into something appropriate or into something productive. Channel your mood into something more productive that isn't annoying to everybody else in the minivan, is what I meant.
That's very different than the other thing. But...
I can't be responsible for your interpretation. Anyway, level 25.
So now Gigi is breaking down. Oh no, whatever will we do? Oh, she wants us to help fix him?
She's like, Gigi is breaking down, but not how it relates to, this does, okay, hold on. The sentence I wrote. So more Gigi drama, but this time it has nothing to do with his interpersonal skills. Mechanically, he is breaking down. She can handle the repairs, but she needs us to make a superb quality silver ingot for the procedure.
Can we not?
What?
Can we not?
Oh, I see. You know what? Maybe he's just, this stuff, it's kind of like sundowning, he needs a little medication to stabilize his mood.
Great. Now Jen's making excuses for him too.
Well, the issue is the writers for this segment included these very regrettable and unfortunate exchanges between Gigi and Serendipity. And it does the entire storyline a disservice because, like, I can't, I have to separate Gigi the character from what the writers made him say. Because I still feel a certain way about Gigi, and, you know, I'm sympathetic towards his character. You grow to appreciate him, and I think he's cute. So you can't, anyway.
We know that Jin is notorious for seeing the best in things, for sure.
It's what I want for myself.
Yes.
Too. So
Understood.
That's what I try to do.
I mean, for me, I don't think the character is ever redeemed, even after we, quote, fix him. I think the damage is done pretty much at that point in time, and nothing afterwards really does anything to recover that character, even if the stuff was supposed to be him breaking down.
I don't think I don't feel like scared or anything in this moment. Like, oh, he's breaking down. Like, that's fine. He's a bunch of bits and bobs, you know, he's a machine. That makes sense. He's going to need some maintenance. This relates to, like, later on, you know, he has a bit of an arc. So,
well, sure. But I think that the implication here, and she says as much, is that his, quote, erratic behavior is due to him malfunctioning. And after this gets fixed in a moment, Gigi-isms die down quite a bit. And he just becomes insulting, not also, like, harassing.
Right.
So I think that's what they meant to convey, was that all this stuff was due to him malfunctioning.
But in a hot second, he's going to say some more unhinged things, not in an essay kind of a way, but just like a funny way, you know, with the fire and stuff.
Yes.
Which I think is great. Anyway, we'll get there when we get there.
Yes. So anyway, we need a high quality silver ingot to fix him. I had one from bulk something like 200 silver ingots for XP.
Yep.
So hand it over.
He's like, you know, how humiliating it must be to accept help from a greenhorn. And Serendipity kind of despairs a bit at how much his personality has changed. And we're like, has it though? And she's like, oh yeah, no, trust me. Like, he's totally out of sorts. It's like he's a completely different person. And we don't really believe that, but, you know, she works with him all day, every day. We don't. So, okay. Luckily, the failing component is easily repairable. Unlike his core, if that were to ever fail, we'd be up shit creek. The core is essentially his soul. There's no real fixing it. Though, you know, when we were dealing with Maggie and that whole thing, the core is apparently fixable.
Maggie got a mammet heart as a core.
That's right. But it still, like, maintained her, like, sense of self.
I don't think it did, actually. I think that the Maggie thing was that Maggie got a sense of self from the mammet core. So we didn't fix the Magitech core. We replaced it with a mammet heart. So
suddenly we had a Magitech with, like, sentience and a personality.
Yes.
But it didn't before.
That's my takeaway from that whole thing.
We created Maggie.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I believe about
that makes
line.
sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
Anyway, the reason that we want a silver ingot here is that silver is especially well suited to channel ether, which is why it's the material of choice for precision mammet parts.
Yeah, this is where we find out how kind of, I mean, as a 19-year-old guildmaster, it makes sense that she would kind of be leaning very heavily on his experience and knowledge.
I wish that
the threat of him breaking down really is kind of putting the fear of God in her.
I truly wish they actually did something with him to make him at all valuable, because this is pure tell not show.
Exactly. We have to take her word for it. We don't see him doing anything constructive until later. Yeah. Anyway, level 30. Gigi continues to deteriorate. A merchant recently visited the guild to discuss a potential contract, but Gigi insulted the man, saying that his baubles were as tacky as laments and whores. So
they were beneath even a laments and whore gin.
So yeah, cool. So he leaves. The guild members, they're used to Gigi. They can hand wave it away, whatever. But this guy obviously could not. So the talks just devolved into nothing, and he storms off. So before Gigi's gaffe, they were discussing a bulk order of malachite earrings. And she asks us to offer a pair of the guild's finest, meaning what we make, to him by way of an apology and hopefully win back his business. Of course, you make a stellar pair of malachite earrings.
They now must be high quality. This is our first high quality piece of gear, not material.
Right, yeah. So everything from now on will be high quality.
Yep. And though relatively common, malachite is valued for its supposed ability to ward off evil.
And malachite with swirls that resemble eyes are particularly valuable. Bro, when I was younger, when I was a teenager, I was obsessed with malachite anything. I wanted like malachite figurines. I wanted malachite jewelry. I just thought it was the most gorgeous stone. It had such a beautiful soft texture and the weight of it was so satisfying and obviously just a gorgeous material. I was obsessed. Like malachite, everything. Oh my God. Anyway.
And then what happened?
I don't know. I stopped buying tchotchkes.
Fair and good. Good call.
I still have these pieces in storage somewhere. I will never get rid of them, but like, what am I going to do? Put them on a bookshelf? I don't know.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's all you do.
Yep.
But I loved it.
Anyway, we make them and we rush over to find this guy, the offended merchant. His name is Roberton.
Yeah, Roberton.
Who is a purple-haired Lalafell on
cute.
Ruby Road.
They're all cute. He's very cute.
And he thinks when we come up to him that he had offended the guildmaster, and he's like, yes, I get it, I suck.
He totally like put all of the blame on him. He's like, I don't know what I did, but clearly I deeply offended the guildmaster and her assistant. I had to walk away. I don't want to hear any more about it. Please leave me alone. Like, what a devastating experience for this poor man. So that's when we present him. We're like, no. Like, we are sorry. And as an apology and in a way to make amends, here is our, like, the finest set of malachite earrings we could possibly present to anybody. And he's like, whoa, that's hell of a gesture. Okay. He says he had no idea that serendipity was capable of making such a high quality. Wait, what? It was you? What? Okay, well, all right. Well, you're exactly the kind of craftsperson I endeavor to meet, he says. He travels the realm searching for uncommonly good goods that he can buy for a gil and sell for two. He gives us his card and he's like, I'll be in touch. Super excited. Godspeed. Talk to you soon. Reach out and what the fuck other.
We head back and gives Serendipity the card. That's that. So now the next quest, though.
She is so happy though. She's like, you saved us. Yeah.
So now this guy's going to be our patron going forward. He's going to commission every single thing that we make until the end of the quest line. The first thing, though, that he asks for is a firebrand, a wand. We make it. We hand it over for evaluation. Gigi gets placed in charge of this one to, I assume, make sure he's working better.
So she's been working on him, and so I guess this is like his first appraisal attempt after some of the repair work. She's like, okay, Gigi, you can do it. You can say stuff that isn't unhinged. Spoiler, he says some things that are unhinged.
Now he apparently is a pyromaniac, and he is the one true lord of the Inferno.
Fire! Brand, burn, make it burn them. And he calls himself the one true lord of the Inferno, and he evil laughs, and Serendipity is like, no fire. What did we talk about?
So Jen, at this point, I was wondering if I would find humor in this if I were not already turned off by this character pretty much utterly. We're now past the sexual harassment portion of the questline. That is now done. So now it's just him being insulting and quirky.
If he were, the initial stuff that he said about our stuff, like, an affront to the gods, not fit for a chamber pot, blah, 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 like, that's fine. I'm down with that. That's great. The essay stuff is an unfortunate fucking distraction. It's a disservice to the character. It's a disservice to the storyline. I have to disconnect it from the character Gigi. It's not his fault. And because I kind of feel like I know what they were going for, totally insensitive. I don't know. When they were writing this shit in 2012 or 2013, was it a different vibe? Not really. So I have to separate it. I am judging Gigi on everything else except that bullshit because it's so out of pocket. I can't I just can't.
I am curious.
And I'm like, in a future patch, I swear to God, they're going to pull that out. Like, they have to.
They might. Like I said, I haven't seen anything blow up about this. I'm not especially online, frankly. So I don't plumb the far corners of Reddit or whatever to hear the latest on the Goldsmith quest in A Realm Reborn.
I mean,
But
I've seen no word about this.
Same though. In my circles and in our FC gen, I haven't seen anyone ever call this out, which is surprising, frankly, because I would think there'd be more people who are doing the first crafting quest or whatever, unless they're like literally just skipping cutscenes and turning in their materials. I don't know.
It's not the first time, though, we have encountered a creepy fuck in this game.
Yeah.
You know, what's his face from Aleport?
Yeah, the Lalafell.
Who's squeezing people's asses and is a creep to everybody.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know,
I guess that feels less offensive though than this one does.
That's informing a character.
Yes.
Like, he's supposed to be a creepy old man.
Yes.
And so there you go. And again, there's still a lot of like depth to the character. He has a past and a present, and you know, we learn things about him. You could write him off, but he still has value as like a tradesperson, and that's not his daughter we dealt with, right? That was like,
I'm struggling to remember. He was tied to the family that had gotten abducted by the siren.
Somehow, yeah.
I think that his assistant's father was the one who had been enthralled by the siren, not his.
Right. So we've been in this position before where we are forced to take a person for everything that they are and not simply write them off completely for being a creepy old man. But should we? You know, is there any redemption for that? And I think that's a personal decision. I
think that for that guy, it definitely is informing his character.
Yes.
And it does make me lose respect for him.
Oh,
but
for sure.
We're not asked to give him respect as well and to
give him
credit.
He is who he is.
Yes.
And we interact with him on that level, and like that's fine. He's not asking us either to treat him any other way. He's like, I am who I am. We have things to do. Let's do it.
But here, there's a lot more Gigi besides the first half of this quest line. And I was wondering, am I not feeling this because I'm turned off from this character now, or is it
Probably.
just the actual humor that's not working for me?
Could be both.
It is very kind of LOL random type humor,
100%.
which some people like. I don't personally.
I see through it. I'm like, I see what you're trying to do, and I'm like, it doesn't work on me anymore. But I can still kind of wrap my head around what it is that they were trying to do with this character.
I feel like if I had gotten a stronger attachment to the characters up front, it'd be more funny, because I don't think that Gigi's stuff is funny, but there is humor to be found in his and Serendipity's interactions. The stuff about the chamber pot and her saying, I decide what's a good chamber pot.
Yes, love that. That's great.
That has the elements of good humor, and I think if they were better established characters,
always.
By the time this came up, this would probably hit a lot better, because I think that has humor in it. And maybe the LOL, I'm Lord of the Inferno, whatever, is not funny to me. But no, we do not burn our customers,
right.
Gigi.
So like that interaction I enjoyed. She's like, no, what did we talk about? Fire. We do not set things on fire. So he's just like, he is the vessel of all goldsmithing knowledge, but also like a kid. This child who can't put the matches down. Or whatever. There's a lot going on. But so like I said, I pulled out the problematic shit, and I'm trying to understand Gigi as the character that they intended. They kind of fucked up, but I see him for what he is. He's malfunctioning, he's all over the place, he's been around a million years, shit is fucked, and Serendipity is trying to, do some analog therapy on his ass. So
anyway, we have that bit, and we hand over the firebrand done. Next step, we're now going to make a horn staff.
Well, just real quick, there's a little bit of something after that. So the scepter is well made. There's an eye of fire on it, and that is the focal point both aesthetically and functionally. This is another thaumaturge thing. It focuses the flow of ether. Any veteran thaumaturge would be happy to wield this instrument of destruction, and Roboton will no doubt be very pleased. And then Gigi pipes up, and he's like, you know what would be also another gift? Another good gift for Roboton? The gift of fire. I enjoyed that. Anyway, moving on.
So the next commission from Roberton is a horn staff. And Serendipity reports that when he was at the guild most recently, there was no bad Gigi-isms. Normal insults, not violent insults.
Huzzah.
So he's back to normal.
Correct. Great.
But anyway, we head out to get to work on the staff. We make it. And while it's being inspected, Gigi says that we have outgrown our greenhorn title. We need a new one that conveys growth, but still conveys disdain for our work. Mm-hmm. And once again, Serendipity says that's actually a pretty big compliment. Also, she says that she can see that we've gotten much better in working on horn with this staff, since the firebrand and the staff use pretty much the same materials. They take a fire eye and aldegoat horn. We head out and give Roberton the staff, and he's glad to see us and not Gigi. Even though he says that the mammet's evaluation is fair and he needs to sharpen his eye if he's going to cut it in Ul'dah's markets. Anyway, though, he says, have you heard of the Jade Fox? The legendary thief has come to Ul'dah at last. His lust for fine jewelry is insatiable. Us goldsmiths should take care. We go back to the guild, and Serendipity also warns us about the Jade Fox. Be careful with new customers. They could be the fox in disguise.
She's going to be extra careful in qualifying potential customers, and which is great because she is an excellent judge of character.
As we know.
Super, super good. So we go back. The guild is swamped. The Sultana's name day celebration is coming up, and anyone who is anyone has been invited, and they all plan to turn up and turn out in peak finery. The most popular request has been for headwear, or headgear, I guess. So she asked us to make 3 electrum circlets, each with a unique stone.
We are making an electrum circlet, parentheses amber, electrum circuit, parentheses spinel, and an electrum circlet, parentheses zircon.
Oh my god. Roberton, surprisingly, is handling this commission as well. He's acting as a middleman for most of these transactions, and that's going to be a lot because of this name day shit. Roberton's rise in Ul'dah society has been surprising to Serendipity just because it's been so fast. He's the talk of the town. He's the Ul'dah law roach. His newfound reputation, however, has been built on our back. I mean, we're making the shit. He's just selling it, which is fine, you know. Gigi pipes up. We make the stuff. We put them on 3 different models. Gigi gives us his assessment. I will not bore you with flattery and just say you did well. Since you won't let me fill your head with materia, I refuse to fill it with praise. That's fair. Serendipity is, however, stoked. Our skill level now rivals that of their best goldsmiths. And before we deliver the circlets to Roberton, we need to check in with Robert. Remember him? He was just asking to speak with us, and she admits here to being just a little jealous of all of this special attention. And
also, Jen, amber is used to channel earth magic. Zircon imparts wisdom and worldliness and channels ice magic. And finally, spinel is a symbol of confidence and power, and is aspected towards lightning.
Very good.
Thank you.
All right.
So we're sent off to turn them in to Roberton. Oh, and also, Robert, the Sultan Sworn, wants to talk to us. Serendipity is jealous. She says that she has no idea what's on his mind, but we may as well speak with him before making our delivery to Roberton. And now Gigi butts in, saying, secrets and lies. They're a miserable pile of secrets and lies.
The man is naught but a miserable pile of secrets and lies. So Serendipity is like, you shut your mouth, okay? You show more respect to one of our best clients. Darn tootin'. All right. So we go out, and Robert's hanging up by the Aetheryte again, and he's like, okay, I just need to let you know, the Sultan Sworn have been made aware of the Jade Fox's presence in Ul'dah, and there is a possibility he will infiltrate the name day festivities and rob the guests. And without the knowledge of his identity, the Sultan Sworn have decided to discreetly investigate some of the guests, and that includes Roberton. They've done some looking into this guy. He's not affiliated with any other trade organization. He doesn't have any relatives, and his activities prior to him showing up in Ul'dah are completely unknown. So Robert knows that we've worked with Roatan on several commissions and recommends that we be very careful and watchful of him. Fair. So now we go to the Ruby Road Exchange and we deliver the circlets to Roatan, and he is delighted. They're so good. But he senses a shift in our demeanor and asks if something is troubling us, and a little prompt pops up. We can ask him one of two questions.
What did you choose, Jen?
I chose to ask him why he really came to Ul'dah.
I also chose the indirect route. You can also ask him straight up, are you the Jade Fox?
Yeah, like, are you the Jade Fox? Did not ask him that. So he says, all right, to be honest, I'm not really a businessman. I obsessed, well, he says besotted, which is a little different, with beautiful things. And I search the realm for artisanal masterpieces in the name of altruism. I don't hoard. Rather, I share these treasures with my fellow man. I consider it my sacred duty. And this seems a little like a canned response, a little heavy-handed.
Not only that, but he's describing literally being a merchant, not hoarding, but selling.
Right. Like he's not like, I'm just buying these to like hang on to it. Like, no, you're running a business. That's legit. That's not altruism unless you're giving it away. Or unless he thinks that, traveling the realm and looking for like the best of the best and then presenting that to his clients as a way of like making sure that people see the best that exists.
I read this as him being a purveyor of fine things, not just like any garbage,
random shit.
But
totally.
He wants to sell only the finest stuff.
Yeah, he's not selling ramen. He's selling like hand pulled noodles. Or like bag. You know what I mean?
He's still selling them. He's not donating them. He's just putting on airs to an extent.
Right. But, he's also not just like, I am keeping all these beautiful things. I mean, he's not independently wealthy. He has to make a living. So,
yes,
this is a little weird.
Yes.
This is a little weird. Anyway. So we go back, and Serendipity, she heard about the Jade Fox thing, potentially targeting the name day celebration, and she hopes that Robert will be the one to punish this man personally. Boom. Maybe he will.
Level 50 at last.
God, this is a whole page of notes, just this one thing.
Well, it's the
so much
climactic finale, Jen.
Correct.
Serendipity is very tired. She's been working very hard on jewelry for the gala. And Roatan has asked us to craft a ring that he will present to the Sultana herself. Because apparently all gifts are presented in one grand ceremony. Any guest whose gift receives special recognition in this ceremony by the Sultana is bound for fame and fortune.
Word. She's, imagine jewelry you made on the finger of Nanamo Ul'Namo. I mean, it's a big deal. So, Roatan is asked for a flawless black pearl ring melded with piety materia to sweeten the deal. It's funny because Serendipity's like, you know what, let's meld something to it to just give a little like shing. We'll do piety. Not to say that the Sultana needs it, so let's do something middle grade. So it's not like a, hey girl, you are devoid of piety. Let's put a piety 12 on this pinch or whatever.
It goes up to 4, Jen, right now.
Okay. So she's like, let's do 3.
It's piety 3, not 4.
Yeah. So just for a little zhuzh. So we present the ring, and Serendipity summons Roatan. He is impressed. This is a ring fit for royalty. Just then, Robert storms in and proclaims that Roatan's mummer's farce is at an end. He accuses Roatan of being the Jade Fox and plotting to infiltrate the gala. And Serendipity is horrified. Say it ain't so. And Robert is like, it is so, my dear, my dear. But luckily I am here to put an end to this deceit and thwart the thievery. Roatan is incensed. He should not have to listen to these wild accusations. Alas, Robert demands that we turn over the Sultana's ring because it's evidence of his crimes, and we'll get it back after the trial.
This is clear to us viewers that this is just a farce to get us away from the ring. There's nothing about this ring that's evidence.
Correct.
It's not tied up in any scheme whatsoever.
Though at the time, I think we're all still supposed to be ignorant. This is not the reveal.
It had been a long time for me, and I had forgotten about this identity. And
I hadn't.
Great. Because of the phrasing of the last bit where Gigi goes secrets and lies after Rorotan is mentioned. But the secret, though, is that he said that in a sentence with both Robert and Rorotan mentioned. Mm-hmm. So he was talking about Robert and not Rorotan in that sentence.
Correct.
Anyway, so at this point in time, though, Robert is being super sus.
Gigi is observing the exchange from the background. We peep his little face and his little eyeballs and his fat helmet.
All those things.
Yeah. And he's looking very concerned at this entire interaction. And Rorotan desperately appeals to us. We don't believe Robert, do we? And his pleas fall on deaf ears as Robert leads him away. And Gigi says to himself, secrets and lies, secrets and lies. He takes him to death and sorrow, to Pearl Lane. Nobody hears this.
Serendipity hears this.
No. Okay. She doesn't hear that, but apparently Gigi just continues running around the guild, muttering something about Pearl Lane. So when we regroup with Serendipity, after all this drama, she's like, oh my God, I can't believe Rorotan was the Jade Fox.
My read was that she heard it and brushed it off because she's tuning him out.
I guess. I don't know. Or he's just like, since saying it, now he's just running around going like, Pearl Lane, Pearl Lane, Pearl Lane. And she's like, what are you talking about? And then we walk up and we're like, that was crazy, right? She's like, oh my God, right? She's like, I can't believe Rorotan was the Jade Fox. Can you, Gigi? Gigi? Oh, Gigi's missing. He is nowhere to be found. And that's when Serendipity's like, you know what? He had muttered some shit about Pearl Lane. Let's start there. So off we go. We find the three of them in a far corner of Pearl Lane. Rorotan is on his knees. He's winded. Gigi is standing defiantly in front of Robert and demanding that he back away from the Lalafell, quote unquote, you cur. And Robert gazes down at him disdainfully. And Serendipity runs up and asks Gigi why he ran away. And he exclaims, deceiver, trickster, this man is no Sultan Sworn. And Rorotan says, it's true, Robert is the Jade Fox. Robert then cocks his gun and points it at Rorotan and says, everybody just calm down. This doesn't need to end in bloodshed. And Gigi then leaps at Robert, grabs onto his arm, the gun arm, and Robert flings him off of his arm, and he's sent crashing into the ground. Then Rorotan does the exact same thing, but this is hilarious. He literally rockets himself, stick straight body, like a little potato torpedo right into Robert's gut. And Robert is laid out. The ring falls out of his pocket. He's unconscious or something, whatever. And we see that Gigi is just kind of twitching wildly on the ground. There's major dysfunctions happening. Serendipity runs to his side, and he's able to say her name, Serendipity. He just continues to twitch and says, that hairstyle of yours, I have always detested it. And then he stops twitching, and his eyes close, and Serendipity is devastated. She's basically watching the mammet's soul fade away. Rorotan asks if anything can be done. Can he can be repaired, right? I will pay anything. We can sell the ring. And Serendipity says, no, if his core has been damaged, there's nothing we can do. So we walk up and we have the ring in our palm, and we give Serendipity a look, or there's an unspoken exchange, and Serendipity, I guess, understands what it is that we intend to do. And she's like, what are you doing? We kneel down and basically install the ring in Gigi, which makes no sense, but we do it anyway. And suddenly his little body rises up, and he's awake now and standing in front of us again. And we're all like, okay, is this Gigi? Or is this just a run-of-the-mill mammet we have in front of us now? Black pearl ring. Ugh, this is by far the worst piece Greenhorn has ever crafted. Its very existence offends me. I feel violated, so violated. And we're all like, yay, it's Gigi, he's back, hallelujah. Scene. Back at the guild, we regroup. Serendipity admits she was terrified when we started futzing with Gigi's guts and trying to shove the ring into his body. But at the same time, our ring filled him with such disgust that he was reminded of his purpose and regained his senses. Isn't that great? And something else that she discovered when working on Gigi was his real name. As we know, he was built over a century ago by a guildmaster, and he has served as the assistant to 19 guildmasters hence. So his name was barely visible, inscribed on his core, Nejing. And this is the first mammet ever built, period. And the design upon which every mammet since has been modeled. So that's a hell of a thing. I'm assuming Nejing is another Final Fantasy situation.
I went looking for this. Usually Final Fantasy pulls from real-world mythology or history, but I couldn't find any real-world reference to this name. I tried pretty hard to find something about it. I'm surprised it's conjured out of nowhere, which is off-brand for Final Fantasy in general. But no, apparently it's just a series name that has no other ties I could locate. This is also the name of an automaton in Final Fantasy XI. So that is what it calls back to, but I couldn't find anything besides that one entry in the series.
Weird. So that was my initial assumption. I didn't look it up. I didn't look up anything. I didn't assume it was a real world reference or a I assumed Final Fantasy, but I don't know exactly what. But the assumption was that this was fan service, and I guess technically I was right, though I expected it to be a little bit more pervasive in the IP than just the one. But yeah. Serendipity thanks us for saving Gigi's life, essentially. And she's reasonably sure that Gigi would also be thankful. And then in the future, please don't attempt to repair mammets. Thank you. Yeah, we really, crossed a line there. That was a bizarre thing that we decided to try. I don't remember that at all from the first time I did it, because I guess I just assumed that Serendipity would be the one to fix. I don't know. Whatever.
Well, that is the end. If you go back and talk to her later on, she goes, haha, have you tried to do any other unauthorized mammet repairs? You really did something wrong by doing that.
Yeah. And no, I don't know what came over us. It's just weird.
It was weird at the end.
Yeah.
So the ending is kind of dumb, in my opinion. I know this is largely a joke questline, and this questline is largely played for humor, at least in my interpretation. But also this weird, we're going to stick a ring into this guy and he's going to hate it so much he comes back to life. I don't know. It doesn't land for me. Though, to be fair, the humor of this questline does not land for me largely regardless. So maybe that's just a me problem and not a problem with the finale. But I kept expecting her to go, or someone else to go, hey, actually the ring, the electrum in the ring, bridged a faulty connection or whatever and helped him to come back to life. We fixed him with the material in the ring, not he hated it so much that he resurrected. Yeah,
because objectively he should not hate it that much, because we've been making some things that he was pretty much okay with for a while, and this should have been basically our magnum opus up to this point. And for him to find so much flaw, so many flaws within it that it jump-started his soul. That's the thing that doesn't ring true to me, is the fact that he hated it so much, but this is the thing that basically capped off our entire Goldsmith experience.
The offensive bit to me is not that this was our magnum opus and he hated it. It was just that is the explanation, the final explanation given for why he came back to life.
I expected it to be because of the materials.
Yes.
Because of the black pearl or something.
And I thought that it was going to be like a LOL, this is actually a joke that he hated it so much. But no, it's actually the final word before we wrap up, which really hit me the wrong way at the end. Whatever. As always, the final cutscene is fun. That jumping headbutt by Roriton is fun too. And it slows down a lot at that moment where we see Robert's face mid cringe from the wind being knocked out of him so hard he falls unconscious, and Roriton's face, he's so intent upon that diving headbutt. So
it's pretty good. Yeah.
As always, final scenes, lots of fun in these things. I think without fail, pretty much in all the crafting and gathering quests.
Totes. Yeah.
The ring business aside, Jen, any other thoughts or comments on Goldsmith?
Probably, yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I wanted to say that this is one of my favorite Disciple of the Hand storylines, honestly.
Really?
Because it's just wacky. And we have intrigue, we have character development or mammet development. Yeah, it just seems like there's a lot going on. And I think about this compared to the blacksmith questline. There's no comparison, frankly, as far as the kind of shit. It's just wacky. I don't know. I enjoy the hell out of it. I think it's super fun.
Well, great. I was not a fan personally, but again, unlike you, I can't excise out the early frictions. So I think that kind of put a pall over it entirely for me. It's hard to give it a fair assessment without the first 25 levels of Gigi doing his thing. Even that aside, though, his humor does not work for me, period, even after he gets back to, quote, normal. Just not for me, which is okay. It doesn't have to be, but that's kind of where I fall on this one, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think this would be, I guess, a polarizing one. Even the essay shit notwithstanding, I can see how this just wouldn't work for some people. Totally.
But that's okay. Either way, though, we have now finished up our Disciples of the Hand. So next time, we are on now to our final tribe quest. We'll be doing the Sylphs.
And that will do it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for listening and being too cool for school. That sounds bad, but no, you're real cool. If you want to get in touch with us, you can at podreturnffxiv@gmail.com. Check the show notes for our Discord if you want to join up for some pretty, like I said, cool people. You can join us for group runs, organize group runs of your own, talk about your pets, your glams, literally whatever the fuck. It's great. And we also have our Patreon, patreon.com/podreturnffxiv. And for $1 a month, you get access to some other stuff that we publish. We have our Final Fantasy XI series, Vana'diel Vansplainer, on there. And then all of the seasonal events, we have little episodes about those as well. So check it out. And with that, we hope you enjoyed the episode. Have a good day or night, and we will see you next time.